everyone, welcome to Millionaire GRE. I am Punit. This is the fifth video on statistics. In the previous videos, we had learnt about the concepts mean, median, mode, range, standard deviation and percentiles. In this video, we are going to discuss about weighted mean or weighted average. If you have not watched the previous videos, please go through it before continuing with this video. Let's understand the concept of weighted average through a problem.
You're great. I feel I've been remiss in my duties. I've given you meat and wine and music, but I haven't shown you the hospitality you deserve. My king has married, and I owe my new queen a wedding gift.
Now I want you to pause the screen and try this question. I hope you have done so. Now let's solve it together. House Bolton and House Frey decide to join forces to defeat House Stark. And that was very evil. They should not have done this. Okay. Bolton army consists of 1,000 soldiers. Number of soldiers in Bolton army is 1,000 with an average experience of 60 months. Average experience is 60 months. Similarly, Frey army has 2,000 soldiers. The average experience in Frey army is 70 months. What is the average experience of all the 3,000 soldiers combined? Here, average experience can be calculated by finding the total experience that all the soldiers have upon total number of soldiers. If you find the total experience of all the soldiers upon total number of soldiers, that will give you average experience of each soldier. Now, total experience of Bolton army would be 1,000 times 60. There are 1,000 soldiers. Average of them is 60. So 1,000 times 60 will give you the total experience of Bolton army. Similarly, total experience of Frey army is 2,000 times 70 upon total number of soldiers, which is 1,000 plus 2,000. This is equal to 60,000 plus 140,000, that is 200,000 upon 3,000. We end up at 200 upon 3 or 66.67 months. The average experience of all the 3,000 soldiers combined is 66.67 months. Now here the average that we calculated is called weighted average. Whenever the values or the terms are divided into groups, the average that you get is called weighted average. Here all the terms, all the soldiers are divided into two groups, hence the average would be called weighted average. Whenever the terms are divided into groups, the average is called weighted average. If there are n1 terms whose average is a1, n2 terms whose average is a2, and n3 terms whose average is a3, are there, what will be the overall average or weighted average? Weighted average is simply n1a1 plus n2a2 plus n3a3 upon n1 plus n2 plus n3. This is the formula to find weighted average. And this is exactly what we did here. n1a1 plus n2a2 upon n1 plus n2. If the terms are divided into groups, average is called weighted average. Pause the screen and give this question a try. I hope you have done so. Now let's solve it together. In flea bottom, there are B boys and G girls. Boys are B, girls are G. The average wage of boys is 60 pennies per day. So average of boys is 60, number of boys are B, and average wage of the girls is 70 pennies per day. Average of girls is 70. And we are told if the average wage of all the boys and girls combined is 66 pennies per day, which of the following must be true? We are told that the weighted average is 66. Okay, the combined average means weighted average because the terms are divided into groups. And how do we find weighted average? We can get weighted average by doing 60b plus 70g upon b plus g. This will give us weighted average. If we simplify this, we get 66b plus 66g is equal to 60b plus 70g, or 6b is equal to 4g, and we end up at b upon g is equal to 4 upon 6. So this tells us for every 4 boys there are 6 girls. It means girls are more than boys. The number of girls are more than number of boys. Hence B is correct. I hope this was clear. Now again try this. It's similar to the previous one but with a small change in number. I hope you've done so. Now let's solve it together. Again, the number of boys are B and number of girls are G. Average of boys is 60, average of girls is 70, and the overall average or weighted average is 65. How do we get 65? We do 60b plus 70g upon b plus g. Simplification gives us 65b plus 65g is equal to 60b plus 70g, which gives us 5b is equal to 5g, which means b upon g is 5 upon 5 or 1 upon 1. So for every boy there is a girl. Number of boys and number of girls are equal here. C is the correct answer. Now you would have noticed something. 65 is equidistant from 60 and 70, and hence the number of boys are equal to number of girls. Here 66 is closer to 70 than 60. 66 is closer to 70, hence girls are more. So we derive an important property. To whichever group's average the weighted average is closer, that group has more terms. To whichever group's average the weighted average is closer, that group has more terms. 66 is closer to average of girls, hence girls are more. Here 65 is equidistant from average of both groups, hence the number of terms are equal. Similarly, if the question was there are B boys, G girls, average of boys is 70, average of boys is 60, girls is 70, and the overall average is 61. Here 61 is closer to 60, so boys would be more. To whichever group's average the weighted average is closer, that group has more terms. Or you can flip this statement and say the group which has more terms has weighted average closer to average of that group. Okay, the group which has more terms has weighted average closer to its average. Now using this property, solve this. Do not do any calculation, just by looking at it try to figure out the answer. Hope you have done so. Now let's solve it together. We are told the number of boys are 10, number of girls are 20. Average of boys is 60, average of girls is 70. What will be the average wage of all boys and all girls combined? So basically, what will be the weighted average? Now 65 is equidistant from 60 and 70. But we know that girls are more. Number of girls are more. It means the weighted average should be closer to 70. Weighted average should be closer to average of girls because girls are more. So weighted average should be more than 65. It should be 65 plus. So A is the correct answer. Okay. Since girls are more, weighted average should be closer to girls average. Hence weighted average should be more than 65. Option A. With this, we have come to the conclusion of this video. In this video, we discussed the concept of weighted mean. In the next video, we will discuss the concept of quartiles. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching this.